All right, and we are back here on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation, and we have Kara Vine, Senior DOT Consultant at Ironwood Business Consulting. How you doing, Kara?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Are you rooting for the Cowboys tonight?
I mean, of course. I live in Texas.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you live. You should always root for the Cowboys. I don't care. It doesn't matter, right? If you're an American, you should be rooting.
Team.
That's right. You should be rooting. So, what you got going on, Kara? Where are you located at?
So I'm out in West Texas. I'm actually just about an hour east of Midland. Little small community, but I mostly work in Midland, Odessa area.
An hour east of Midland.
Kahoma. We have a Dairy Queen.
Yeah. All right. Hey, what else do you need in this world? If you got you a good, Dairy Queen, you got to get the. Obviously, since you have a Dairy Queen, you've got a couple of my favorites. You get the Hunger Buster going. You get the steak finger basket. And without question, you got to go straight up. Always you get the Blizzard, right? What's your favorite? Blizzard. What's the favorite Blizzard? What's your go-to Blizzard?
Just the chocolate brownie extreme kind of mixture. Always good standby.
Always a good standby. Well, I'll tell you what, you just can't go wrong with a Blizzard. I'm telling you, out there on a hot day, you can't go wrong with a Blizzard. All right, let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. What have you been up to since the last time we saw you? Tell me what's been going on with you.
So I think since the last time we talked, I'm not for sure if it was right before or right after the last time I was on the show. We actually were able to stand up the West Texas Council of Safety Professionals. So kind of a spinoff. There are TXTA kind of under their umbrella. They sponsor and they help out with a lot of the safety councils. The actual state safety management council is a huge resource. And so there was Dallas-Fort Worth has a really active chapter. I think y'all have hung out. I know Bryce and I were talking. She got to go and meet up with us guys for lunch. So they're amazing people. San Antonio's got a really active council. Let's see, Houston area's got an active council, and I think East Texas is trying to come back around and get re-gathered up after all the COVID slowdown. But what we figured out is there was really nothing west of Weatherford, right? So once you got outside of that Metroplex area, there wasn't an option for people to join. And so whenever I went through the certification process through TXTA for the CFS certification, we got to talking and I figured out that there just wasn't that safety resource out in this area. So, it's something that I'm passionate about. This is home for me. And so I wanted to try to do what I could to help stand up something because I think it's a great resource and I think it's really needed.
So first of all, I want to find out where does that region stretch? I know you said west of Weatherford. Does it go all the way out to El Paso, all the way north to Amarillo, all the way south to what? Fort Stockton? Just kind of give me an idea where that West Texas stretch, because that's a big piece of property you're talking about out there, Kara.
It's huge, but we're out here in the Permian, so people drive 2 hours for a cup of coffee. I mean, it's no big deal. But yes, for now, we are the only active council, in this western region, and they're pretty strategically placed out. So hopes and dreams would be that someone else would see that it's possible to stand up a council, and I'd love to see us have something in the Amarillo area. And, then something maybe a little further south to catch some of those people. I heard that TXTA's chapter meetings, they're going to try to stand up Corpus Christi again. So, I think it's such a need, and I don't think you can do too much to promote safety in the state.
All right, so you got the West Texas Safety Council. Just tell me what it is y'all do, because I understand a little, but it'd be good just to talk about it for those that don't really know what a safety council does. I mean, we can sit here and say, well, they're all about safety, but that's not all that you do. I mean, the way you go to carriers, the way that you go, just tell me a little bit about what being the safety council is.
So as a whole, basically, we meet once a month, and it's kind of lunch and learn, I guess, if for lack of a better term. So we do lunch. It's great fellowship. It's great networking. Get to meet up with people who are in this area and who are also just as focused on safety as what everyone else there is. We have a speaker. We typically have someone come in and give a presentation. I'm super excited about tomorrow's. We've got Major Norlow from the DPS CVE division. He's going to be out here to speak to the council tomorrow. So I couldn't be more excited about him coming out. We've got I think we've got we've got Richard from the training unit. He's going to come up next month and speak. We've got Kelly McClatchy from West Texas. He actually just got promoted to sergeant. He's going to speak for March, trying to get ready for the West Texas DPS Challenge and kind of let people know about that. But really, so we have our monthly council meetings, and then some of the things that the other councils do that I hope we can fall in line with is, or that's our hopes for into 2023, early 2024. The safety councils for each region are responsible for the truck driving championships. So each spring, the local safety councils get together. They put on the truck driving championship. The winner from each region actually gets to go on to the state competition. They compete at state, and then the winner from state actually gets to go to nationals. So they play a huge key role in helping with that truck driving championship. Scholarships. So they're big in community support and scholarships and different programs for people's kids to try to promote growing kids up in this safety culture and hopefully in the trucking industry. And then aside from that, it's just education. So I know y'all have had Kenny Ray on a few times, and that DFW council, man, they've definitely put up some big shoes for me to fill. And I really, really hope that I can put something similar to what they do with their annual safety training conference. I'd love to put something like that on out here, just and do it for low cost, if not free, and just to try to put some topics out there that people need help with.
I'll tell you what, Kara. First of all, I want to know what I didn't actually see my invitation to come speak out at the Safety Council meeting over here with Drive Safe Dave and at BCB Live making his presentation. It sure would be nice if we could get a chance to come out there to the West Texas
Absolutely.
and talk about safety and cultures and ideas and principles. We think it's best and important, but you know what? That's for another time. I tell you what, it's exciting. Let me ask you a quick question. What would you say? And I like the fellowship and the relationships that you develop, but let's talk about what are some of the genuine main safety concerns that you address right there in the council meetings, because I know you have a speaker and I know you find certain topics, but there is kind of an agenda that you follow. But what are some of the main safety concerns that y'all are hitting up?
Well, Dave, so definitely we talk if there's anything new that comes out. So I guess the meeting before last, we really went deep into kind of the changes in the clearinghouse. That went live January 6th. Trying to make sure that people understand whenever there's a new regulation that comes up or maybe a new interpretation that comes up. What I love about it is we always have at least one person from DPS, from CVE that shows up. We've had as many as 8 at one of our meetings before. So I feel like that really helps foster that togetherness and that open door and that open line of communication between the carriers and DPS. And so really it's just education. It's just trying to stay on top of anything that's pending or anything that may be rolled out that's new, and make sure that all of our council members are aware of that, so then they can take that out and help spread the word.
Yeah, we always recommend that you join and contribute to your trade association in whatever region you're in. It doesn't matter where you are, what part of the country you're in. I don't care if you're in Pennsylvania. I don't care if you're in Atlanta, Georgia. The trade associations there in that state and the trucking trade associations are necessary to get involved in. And one of the offshoots and one of the main focal points of all those are these safety councils, these ideas and principles that we bring together in these councils. So if you're joining and participating in one, you should absolutely be joining and participating within the safety councils in your region, right, Kara? I mean, I think they go hand in hand. I mean, you really can't disassociate safety from the trade association, right?
I don't think it's possible.
How can we at the safety council, and I know that we talk within the carrier group, and I know that we talk within drivers and carrier group, but how are we getting the word out to the general population at large? Because I truly believe that the answer for all of us is all of our participation. I don't think it goes just to truck driving. I don't think it just goes within our trade. I think if we're really going to find and make a difference in this, 45,000 people killed each year, hundreds of thousands injured each year, we're going to have to find a way to permeate beyond just our associations, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you doing that in your I was leading. How are you doing that?
And that's where I really hope that we can use the funding that we're able to raise in memberships and donations and things like that. My goal is to try to put on some of those, like I said, low cost or free educational type seminars just to help people understand. A lot of people don't know. I would love, some of the things that I kind of have on my hopes and dreams list is, maybe to get in to talk to some of the schools even, or, some of the local, I'm going to draw a blank here, city councils, things like that. Things just to help people understand there may be something that's so small that the city could do that would make such a monumental difference in, safety or in things of that nature. So I try to take what little bit of knowledge that I have and the experience that I've got, and I try to pass that on to whoever will give me the opportunity to share that.
What's the legal role that West Texas Safety Council takes on in the transportation industry?
So as far as from a legal standpoint, really the closest thing we do in the legal side of things is just to make sure that we help people understand the House Bill 19 and the tort reform and how that can affect them both positively and negatively, depending on, just making sure that they're educated and they know what things can help keep them out of trouble and what things they should be responsible for doing. Outside of that, I'm no lawyer, Dave, and so I really try to just make sure.
That's okay. We're okay with the non-lawyer. We're okay with that too. It's not like we don't appreciate them and what they do, but not everybody has to be one of those guys. But yeah, absolutely. No, what I meant by that, and I hear what you're saying. As you educate, do you find it on a regular basis that small carriers don't truly understand some of the legalities in when you approach them and when you talk to them?
Not at all. I say not at all. Not at all. They don't understand. I think education is probably the single thing that we're lacking the most of. I think you almost. I used to say it was surprising, but it's really not, just because I come across it so often. In my consulting role, and then now as I've branched out more and started working with the safety council, people are just not educated, even on some of the small things that they can do that can help protect them and keep them and their business and their investments safe from anything legal that may come about.
Can I ask you a question? How important is it to develop, and I know that y'all talk about this, how important, and this is a big thing with us here at BCB Live, how important is it that in your safety council and as you talk to carriers that we create genuine safety cultures, safety ideologies, safety thoughts, safety practices, not just going out and running through the motions, but beliefs and values within safety?
Well, it has to start from the top, Dave. So, I think definitely first and foremost, it has to come from the very highest position at a company. And I don't know how you can operate or run a company without that safety culture. It's my desire that everybody I encounter and I come in contact with gets home safe to their family the exact same way they were whenever they left that morning. I know I want that for my family, and so it's really important to me that everybody else that I encounter has that same ability. So I think it has to start from the top, and I think it has to be an all-in mentality. So I agree with you. You can't just throw a video at something once a month and say you have a safety program. I think it has to come from management, from the upper level executives, all the way down to the person who's helping you clean your office. I think it has to be collective. And it should be the forefront. I know everybody always worries about bottom line and budget, and money makes the world go round. But I think at the end of the day, if people can put safety at the front of all their decision making, I think everything else will fall in place.
That's hard to do right off the bat, isn't it, Kara? To make that and make that. I mean, you start on it, and I'll tell you, over the years, having been involved in safety the way I am and doing this show, it continues to snowball every day for me, of just how important every decision you make. The safe decision first, right? What's the best way? What's the safe way? What's the better way? And I do agree it has to come from the top, but we still have to permeate through every level of management, right? I mean, starts here, but you have to continue to work at it in order for it to grow, and to grow organically within whatever organization that you're trying to permeate. Let me ask you, how, and I know that you've brought people to the Safety Council, right? I know that you've brought carriers, and I know you've brought, do you see them get excited about stuff that comes in, and once they start to get involved, don't you start to see that it captures them, right? I mean, I honestly, it gets you. I think we're all in the transportation industry, but haven't you seen it get people? Like all of a sudden they were, well, we're safe. We tell our drivers to be safe. But then it's like, no, we're doing this. We're I mean, you know what I'm talking about?
I think for me, when I see people have that moment, when it does finally click, like what you just mentioned, it's awesome. I mean, that's, at the end of the day, that's the most that anybody can ask for, is that it finally, and then I think you're right. I think it's almost addicting, right? We want to take last year maybe we only had, one accident or, whatever. We're going to make that our baseline. Then we want to get better. And I think it is a snowball effect. I think that the more people start to get on board, then more people start to get on board. And then you're talking about it in the break room, and you're talking about it, and it is organic. It's, man, can you believe what so-and-so did? Or, it becomes more natural. It becomes part of people's instinct. You get in the car, and the first thing you see is you're driving down the road and people are on their phone, or they're texting, and I just think it has to be, I don't even think it has to be second nature. I think it has to be nature. I think it has to be to constantly make that decision to put safety at the front of whatever you're doing.
Where is y'all's next meeting going to take place, and when?
It's tomorrow. So we were fortunate enough, the Barn Door Steakhouse in Odessa, which their food is amazing if you haven't been there, they have offered up to let us, so we've got their room reserved for the entire year of 2023, and they did that as a donation to the Safety Council. So we meet on the third Tuesday of every month at the Barn Door Steakhouse, and typically it's $20. That'll get your meal, your drink, and some great fellowship, a great speaker, and an opportunity to take things back to your company that, I think will really benefit and make a difference.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kara, I do hope that you have a great time tomorrow at the Safety Council meeting, and I hope that you enjoy it immensely, and that y'all are ever changing this industry into safety. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you joining us. If anybody wants to reach out and get a hold of you over there at Ironwood, what's the best way?
Email's probably the best way. So it's just my first name, Kara, Kara, at Ironwood. So it's IRONWOOD, B like boy, C like Charlie for businessconsulting.com.
All right. Thanks, Kara. And before you go, get out of here, we always ask our guests every time they're on to state their name, who they're with, and that you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely. So my name is Kara Vines. I'm with Ironwood Business Consulting, and you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
All right. Thanks much, and enjoy the meeting tomorrow.
You bet. Thanks, Dave.